My name is Finn and I make CS2 skins. Today I'll be making 3 very high quality karambits, including the karambit lore, and showing you exactly how I do it. Make sure you watch the video till the end so you can see the best knife, as I'm saving the best till last. This is the karambit fade and it's the first knife I'll be making today. This is probably the most valuable knife I'll be making today, valued in game at over $3,000. However, this is very dependent on the pattern. Here's an example of a 100% fade karambit. As you can see, there's very little yellow and most of the blade is blue and purple. I've tried to make this knife before and this is how it turned out. Yeah, really not great, so I thought I'd give it another shot. This time around, I'm going to use some special filament to help me out. So I'm looking for something that's going to look like a fade, and also I want a high quality material. So this is silk PLA, which means it will have quite a nice finish, hopefully. And it's also made by Anycubic, which are a main brand. So I think this is the filament I'm going to go with. This filament is multicolour, which means it's printed in red and blue at the same time, and you get this really cool effect. I can't wait to see how this will turn out. Link to this filament is in the description. Here's the filament I'm going to be using. It's just arrived. Let's unbox it and get it on my printer. I'm going to start off with a bench sheet to see how this turns out. Okay, this is the benchy, so it's just finished. The idea of this print kind of shows you how good the filament is, or how good your printer setup is. So this has come out okay. I mean, it finished the print, but as you can see, it's quite scrappy, and under here it didn't do very well. However, the appearance of this is just outstanding. For reference, here's a normal one with my black PLA. So it's a lot higher quality, better print, but colour of this is just awesome. I can't wait to see what this looks like with a karambit. To print a karambit, I'm going to use my karambit files, which you can download from my Patreon. As you can see, it comes in 2 halves, and you simply print them out and glue them together. So I started printing this in the multicolored PLA and I came back about 2 hours later to see how it was going. I've just come back to check on the print and it is looking insane. Can't wait for this to finish. It's gonna look so sick. Right, took about 3 hours, but we've got there. There's the first karambit we've got printed right here, and as you can see, this colour is just nuts. You can see the half blue, half pink going on. Just looks awesome, really. It's kind of insane that you can get that sort of pattern just for something as simple as this. The filament is literally just half red, half blue. I'll crack it off, and yeah. Just look at that, that is insane. It doesn't even look real on the black bed. Right, let me crack this off and have a look. These are all ready, they printed out beautifully first time, so next up I'm going to glue the halves together. Right, here is the karambit glued together. I'm going to try and mask off the handle now, and try so I can paint this black, because I think that's going to look really cool. Now the masking was all done, I head downstairs to cover the handle in primer. After the primer, I put on a layer of black. This is to mimic the black handle of the karambit fade. All of the paints that I'm using are linked down in the description.
3 hours later.
So the paint's finally finished drying, and now I'm going to remove the mask. Right, here's the moment of truth. How clean is this line? Let's take it outside and get some glamour shots. Overall, I'm really impressed with the results from this knife. The multicolour filament adds an awesome finish to the karambit, and it was just so simple to make. Definitely better than my old karambit fade. Remember, this is just one of 3 awesome replicas that I'm making in this video. Make sure to watch till the end, as the last karambit is going to blow your mind. If you want any of the files I use to print my skins, or you want to join my community for bonus content, check out my Patreon. Everyone that joins will receive a Katowice sticker and a keychain karambit in the post. Links in the description. Next up is the Karambit Slaughter. This knife costs around $1,000, and I wanted to make this because one of you asked me to make a karambit Bloodsport. The Bloodsport skin isn't actually on the karambit, as it's only on guns, but the Slaughter's the closest I could think of. If you want me to actually try and make the Bloodsport pattern on the karambit, I can give it a go in another video. To start off, I'm going to print out the same file as before, but in some black PLA. This is so that I don't have to paint the handle, since the Slaughter already has a black handle. Just like before, I'm going to start off by gluing the 2 halves together to make the whole karambit. After that's done, I'm going to mask it, a bit like I did with the fade. This time though, I need to mask off the handle because I want to keep that black, and I'm going to leave the blades open so that I can paint them red. Next up is priming. Just like before, I'm going to cover the blade and the ring in some grey primer so I can paint it. And then I'm going to hit it with this dark kind of candy apple red. So I took the karambit upstairs, let it dry, and then once it was dry, I got a pencil and I started doing some little squiggly drawings all over it and kind of like mark out the zone which I was going to paint, because if you look at the knife, it's got like different shades of red all over it. So I kind of drew some little wiggles all over it, and then I got the paint. So I mixed up the paint, got some different shades of red going by mixing some white and all sorts into it. And yeah, I just started filling in the little zones. It was actually quite easy, not too bad. And once that was done, I let it dry for a while. And then I got a white marker and I just went over like the edges of the borders, and that really made it stand out. The actual knife doesn't have this border, but I wanted to really kind of bring it out a lot more, so that's what I decided to do. After I was done with that, I took off the tape, and now we can see how well I did with the masking. And then the final step was to add some varnish. This is some acrylic varnish. Poured some out onto the palette and then just use a brush to kind of apply it. And this made it just really pop. Okay guys, I've just about finished the Slaughter. This looks pretty sick. The varnish has really made the colours stand out. Right, it's time to move on to the final knife of today. If this video is making you want one of these knives in real life, I've got good news for you. I found a website that sells really high quality metal CSGO knives, and there's a link in my description. Go check them out. I'm reasonably happy with how this turned out. I don't think it was as eye-catching as the fade, and it's definitely not as good as the Karambit Law that's up next, but those bold red colours definitely stand out. So far we have done the Karambit Fade and the Karambit Slaughter, which have both turned out amazingly, but this last Karambit is going to blow them both out of the water. You're going to want to see this. This is the Karambit Law, a $2,000 gold knife, part of the series of Law skins that feature intricate ornamental designs inspired by medieval European weaponry. The Law series includes other popular skins, like the AWP Dragon Law and the M4A1S Knight, among others. The Karambit Law was introduced as part of the Gamma Case collection, which included various other Law skins, which were immediately recognised for their unique gold and green colour schemes, with Celtic-inspired knotwork patterns that give them a regal, historic look. There's actually a Law drawing on the cobblestone map in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which is significant because it serves as an Easter egg and a thematic tie-in to the Law-themed skins, particularly the Dragon Law. Cobblestone is an old medieval castle setting, and the map has several subtle hints and designs that tie into the fantasy and medieval themes seen in the Law skins collection. The AWP Dragon Law, one of the most iconic and valuable skins in the game, has a design that features a dragon, which aligns with the medieval fantasy theme of Cobblestone. It's safe to say that this is one of the most legendary crafts in the game, and I can't wait to create my own version. To start, I'm going to print out another black karambit. This time, there's no need to mask out the handle. To my knowledge, this is the only karambit with a non-black handle. If you look closely, there's actually a dark green tinge to the handle. I don't have this colour of spray paint, so I'm going to start off by priming the entire thing, and then later on, I'm going to use acrylic to create that green colour. After waiting for this to dry, I'm going to begin painting. The first thing I did was paint the handle green, and in order to do this, I masked off the blade so I didn't get any paint spillage. So this is the image that I'll be going off. It's the Karambit Law, and I've got this green handle right here. You have to try and mix up some nice colours for that, and then obviously this blade. First up, I'm going to need some paints. Black, dark green, light green, yellow, yellow, more yellow. I've done the final coat of yellow, and this is starting to look really gold. Before I peel off the tape, I've got one more bit left to do, and that is to draw on these little designs. I'm not just going to go straight in with the pen, that would be a bit silly. I'm going to do it in pencil first, and then once I'm happy with the design, I'll finish it off. This turned out brilliantly. The varnish brought out so much colour into the knife, and the contrasting green and yellow looks amazing. This is probably my favourite knife I've ever made, next to the Tanner knife Doppler I made a few weeks ago. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. Let me know which knife is your favourite. Mine's definitely the Law. Thanks for watching till the end.